He joins us live from New York every Friday, and we appreciate him getting up all these months and sharing with us, giving us a unique perspective as not just a CPA and an author who has researched and many of these major challenges and issues we're facing, but also a unique perspective as a former congressman. From New York is live Joe DioGuardi. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
I look at what the headlines each and every day. That's my job, and I have to tell you, this is much different than anything I faced in the last 18 years on the air. I say today that it is clear that America is in total disarray and in chaos, and it continues to. It's almost like falling down the steps, and you just can't stop yourselves. No matter what the issue is, government has become so immoral, so dysfunctional, so incompetent that even touching anything it has screwed up to try to in some way stop or reverse the thing, they make things worse. Let's first start with a perspective from you. Again, a unique perspective as a former congressman. Obamacare. Obamacare, the largest government project, entitlement, whatever you want to call it, in the history of the United States. We were told to sit down and shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. We'll pass the bill, and then we'll find out. Thousands upon thousands of pages of code and policy, and it is an absolute not only disaster and complete failure, but it's putting people's lives at risk. It puts their most personal financial information at risk. And the President of the United States, this president, I have never, ever, ever seen in my lifetime a president so blatantly lie and staff that works for him so blatantly lie to the American people.
Don't let Congress off the hook, though. Don't forget the name of my book, Unaccountable Congress. It doesn't add up. Why did I say unaccountable Congress, not unaccountable President, not unaccountable Washington? Because it's the House of Representatives and Congress that determine taxing and spending. You got to put the tail on the donkey. This is going forward because we have a representative body, so to speak, that's not doing the job. Now, Senator Cruz tried to play nice with Mikulski on the Senate floor. Did you see what happened? He offered 2 amendments against the provisions of the health care law, and he was told to sit down. Objection by Mikulski. But let me get to Mr. McCain. He's becoming my hero again. He voted against this $1 trillion bill. Don't forget, they broke the caps. The sequester, they didn't like it, but that was put there to force action, but the sequester was violated by about at least $25 billion by passing this $1.1 trillion.
$1.1 trillion. Now, Joe, help me with this because let me figure out.
Okay. Let me tell you what McCain said. He's been a long-term critic of appropriations, but he appeared on the House floor with a list of projects that he derided as pork. But look at his quote. While I'm pleased that this bill will prevent another government shutdown and hopefully signal to the American people that we can actually work together, I will not be voting for this bill due to serious concerns surrounding specific policy writers and spending provisions. And then it says the Arizona Republican said, I am also seriously concerned about the process whereby we are passing a 1,582-page bill that's a trillion and almost it's $1.12 trillion a spending bill, and they received it 8 p.m. on Monday night.
But let's look at this. We were told by the Republican leadership taking on any more debt is wrong, and this whole myth of slowing down spending is wrong, and it must stop. We must have real net savings and cutbacks. Okay, don't take any more debt on. We need to do this. We need to do that. However, this bill, by the way, let's mention that 11 Republicans in the Senate voted for it, so now the mainstream media has tagged it a bipartisan agreement. And so did a number of Republicans vote for it in the House, and they tagged it immediately a bipartisan. But here, it does it on many points. It does everything the Republicans told us in the last election we should no longer do. And secondly, we must fight against at all costs. Now, so talk to me. I mean, this bill increases spending, increases debt, and puts America in a worse financial situation, and they call it a success?
Well, here's the scorecard. I just got it. 17 Republicans on the Senate voted for it, 53 Democrats against, and for it, and then 2 independents for it. So you had 17, 53, and 2 voting for it. We are a split government right now, right down the middle almost on everything. But on fiscal issues, they're not seeing it clearly. We don't have a long-term plan. This is the problem. We're dealing with the trees and not the forest. And we've got big, big problems. Look at what China and Russia are doing right now. Just to give an example, they're building new aircraft carriers. Guess what we're doing? We're deferring the John F. Kennedy aircraft carrier and eliminating another one. Now I'm getting concerned when we put off 2 aircraft carriers and we now see that Russia is building a new one and China's building a new one. You remember what Reagan did in the 80s? He built things. He didn't spend on government programs when it came to defense, and he bankrupted the Soviet Union. We're not doing that. Now, why is this capital budget important? Because you may be able to justify borrowing against hard assets. Right now, we put the cost of an aircraft carrier, $1 billion or more, right in the deficit like we do with the entire, anything we spend on long-term assets. So last year, I got to repeat the number again, until people understand the problem here, we put $500 billion of capital assets in the deficit, not on the books in the budget process, where it can be then allocated over future periods. We're not thinking long term. This is a big problem.